Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Theorycraft Thursdays. This is episode 2, and today our topic is going to be value. And when we're talking about value here today, we're not talking about how to trade with your opponent or what type of cards to include in your deck. The value that we're going to be talking about today is about the value of battle packs, or how to get cards in the game. Now, like most mobile games or card games, or a lot of online games today, there is a dual currency system. One that is coined the premium currency. In this case, we have gems, and that can be purchased through real world currency. And then another currency that you can gain from just passively playing here called gold. And you can use these gems and gold to purchase different types of battle packs to add cards to your collection. And the types of battle packs are 3x battle packs, epic battle packs, legendary battle pack, and just the regular battle pack. And from these, you can acquire new cards. So the first one we're going to talk about here is just the simple battle pack that's on the right that costs 1,200 gold. And if you look at what it will provide us when you purchase one of these, we will get 20 crafting materials, 4 common cards, 2 rare cards. Now, what does these all mean? We have to kind of explain the detail of each one so that we can kind of understand what exactly are we talking about when we're talking about value here in the game in terms of purchasing your battle packs. So if we break down the game, once you purchase said battle pack, you'll get 4 common cards, which is shown here. And from the common cards, you see that if you have extra copies, you'll get crafting materials from them. In this game, only 1 copy of each card is ever needed, so any duplicates will automatically become crafting materials, and you can use said material to craft new cards that you do not own. In this case, the Ithacan Ambusher is the only new card that's added to my collection, so it's not faded out. And moving on to rare cards, or 2-star cards, as you can see from the top, we have 1 new card and 1 duplicate card. And the duplicate card value, the salvage value for rare cards, are a bit higher than common cards. And lastly, with each battle pack, you'll be getting crafting material as well. In this case, we'll be getting 20 material. So that's kind of what we have with the standard battle pack. And if you notice, in the summary screen, we only have common cards, rare cards, and crafting materials. We don't have access to higher tier cards, say epic cards or legendary card. And that's why we have epic battle pack and legendary battle pack. You see in this game, there are only 4 types of card. They are common, rare, epic, and legendary, and you can easily tell their rarity by looking at the number of stars on the bottom of each card. 1 star being common, 2 star being rare, 3 star being epic, and lastly 4 star being legendary, as well as legendary has a very nice border attached to each card. And in the game so far, we have 149 total common cards, 74 rare cards, 25 epic cards, and 19 legendary cards. And we have already seen that you can get common and rare card just by using the standard gold currency. To get epic and legendary cards, you have to either craft them with excess crafting materials or purchase epic battle packs, which contains 200 crafting materials, 6 common cards, 4 rare cards, and 1 epic card. Thus is why it's named the epic battle pack. Or you can purchase a legendary battle pack, which contains 350 crafting materials, 12 common cards, 8 rare cards, 2 epic cards, and what you don't see on the bottom is you get 1 legendary card. So, how does these compare? Well, first we have to know the price of crafting for each card. For common cards in the game, the crafting cost is 50 crafting material. For rare cards, it's 120. For epic cards, it's 400. And for legendary card is 1,000. And for each of these cards that you get a duplicate of, you get set salvage values. So for common cards, off the 50 crafting cost, if you get a duplicate card, you get 10 salvage value back. And for rare cards, you get 40 crafting material back. For epic cards, you get 100. And for legendary cards, you get 250. Now, of course, the goal is not to get duplicate cards, especially for legendary cards or epic cards, since it's very hard to gain them. But for your common and rare card, as your collection builds up from purchasing the standard gold packs, you'll be able to acquire quite a bit of crafting material that you can use to build epic or legendary cards. For example, if you happen to own all of the common and rare cards, or most of them, each time you open Battle Pack, you get up to 140 crafting material. So technically every 7 packs you will be able to get a legendary, every 3 pack you'll be able to get an epic of your choice through crafting. And in terms of odds, that's not actually that bad compared to a lot of different card games that has a small percent in each pack to contain an epic or legendary card. Here you get much more flexible choices. And it's not like the premium currency locks you out if you are a free-to-play player. I happen to want to play the game as a free-to-play game when it launches officially. Right now during beta, there is no currency involved. And there are many ways to actually gain gems in the game. You can gain gems from leveling up as part of the reward. You can gain gem as part of the achievement policy, and there's monthly challenges and other events that can give you gems. So I have actually had enough gems to purchase 2 legendary packs in the past, and it's not impossible for you to get gems basically. But the question is, once you get gems, or if you happen to want to pay money into the game to play it, and you have a bunch of gem, what pack is better to buy? Should you buy the epic pack or the legendary pack? And that is really where our value question comes in for today's episode of Theorycraft Thursday. And just a little warning for those of you who hate math, there's going to be a lot of math in this episode. And if you want to skip ahead, I will put the timestamps in the video below, and you can skip through the parts with the math. And if you happen to be one of those person who love math, then you're going to love this episode. But before we start and jump into all the math, we have to set some ground rules. First off, we have the name of all 4 battle pack sets that you can purchase, their cost, the amount of crafting material that's included in each one, how many common cards is included in each one, how many rare cards included in each one, and how many epic and legendaries included in each one. Epic pack and legendary pack are highlighted because we're comparing these two. And the first thing you can notice is that the cost of these packs are very different. Epic packs cost 800 and legendary packs cost 2,200. So on paper, it's actually kind of hard to compare them. They're not in a very neat multiple. So the best thing to do here is to find a common multiple, in this case 8,800 gems. This way you can buy 11 epic pack or 4 legendary pack, and we can have a fair comparison between the two. And if you happen to buy 11 epic pack, you end up with 2,200 crafting material, 66 common cards, 44 rare cards, and 11 epic and 0 legendary. While if you buy 4 legendary packs, you get 1,400 crafting materials, 48 common, 32 rare, and 8 epic, and 4 legendary cards. So what does this mean? Well, if we assume all the cards we get are brand new cards, and none of the card duplicates, of course this is impossible, but just flat crafting value. The maximum value from these 11 epic packs would amount to 15,180 crafting material, and the total raw value of the maximum you can get from 4 legendary pack is 14,840. And conversely, we can look at the minimum value, that is saying if every single card from these pack end up being duplicates, how much crafting material will we end up with? Well, the minimum value for 11 epic pack is 5,720, and the minimum value for legendary pack is 4,960. So on paper here, it looks like the epic pack contains more value both on the maximum end and on the minimum end. But in reality, this is not how it actually works. So let me walk you through some of the math using myself as a case. So at the time of making this video, this is my card collection in the game. Of the 149 common cards, I am currently missing 26 cards, which means I own 123. Of the 74 rare card, I'm missing 12, meaning that I own 62 cards. And of the 25 epic cards, I'm missing 14, I own 11. And I own only 6 of the 19 legendary, meaning I'm missing 13 cards. So that's currently my collection at the time when this video is made. I'm sure I would have opened more packs from daily missions since then, but this is where all the math is going to be based on from these probabilities here. So what are we going to do with this missing data? Well, I'm going to first extract what my expected value for a common and a rare card if I'm opening a battle pack. So battle packs are the ones where you can buy with gold. It's the most common pack you're ever going to buy. And I was just curious to see what are my chances to draw a set amount of new cards whenever I buy a battle pack, given my current collection. Well, it turns out you can easily do the math here. You can calculate for each scenario. So the probability of me not getting any new card, meaning I'll get 4 duplicate cards in terms of common cards when I draw a pack of 4 commons from a battle pack, is 46.44%. And the chance of me getting 1 new card out of the 4, this includes the chance of getting 2 new cards that are the same. Because in that situation, I would be still technically getting 1 new card. Because if I get 2 cards that I'm missing, one of them would automatically be salvaged, and only the other one would be considered new. So that chance is 40.23%. 2 new cards comes out to about 11.69%. 3 new cards, 1.57%. And all 4 cards being new is 0.07%. And this math was done based on the assumption that the chance of pulling each card is independent and has equal probability. It means the system doesn't favor any cards that you don't have, for example. Every card, in terms of common card, has equal probability, 1 out of 149, and the chance of pulling these new cards are as such. Then we can look at the value that we get when we get 0 new cards or 4 new cards. When we get 0 new cards, we're only getting salvage value. Each card will only equal their salvage value for us, which means we'll get 40 points of crafting material, and that's the value we gain from it. If we get 1 new card, that 1 new card would have been worth 50 crafting costs for us, so I'm giving it 50 points of value. And the 3 cards that are duplicate are given 30 points of crafting material value, which they will be salvaged into, and so forth, until we arrive at 4 new cards, where each card have 50 points of crafting value. So I'm technically getting 200 points of crafting value out of those 4 new cards, even though I get no crafting material out of that pool. So using those values, we can see the expected value we get from this new battle pack. And we can also see the weighted crafting material that we are expected to have after pulling such a pack. And if we source these values together, we come out with 67.44 expected value after pulling a battle pack. And this is the value of just the common card portion. There is still the rare card portion, which we'll do very soon. And the expected crafting material I expect to gain after each pull comes out to about 33.14. And if we take these values and divide them by the maximum amount of value we expect to have and the maximum amount of crafting material you could expect to have, we can come up with a percentage of the maximum, which we'll use as a proxy to calculate our values for the epic and legendary pack down the line. And this math was repeated for the rare card. Since there's a maximum of 2 rare card pulled per battle pack, we only have 3 scenarios to consider, and you can see overwhelmingly we are expected to get 0 new cards at 70.20%, and we do the same math for the 1 scenario and the 2 new scenario, and we come with a weighted average of 105.77, which means we'll recover about 44.07% of maximum value each time we pull a battle pack, or at least that's the expected maximum value we can get. So for those of you well versed in math, you're going to notice a few issues with my approach here. The first issue is battle packs come with 4 common and 2 rare, but when you purchase epic pack and legendary pack, they will come with much higher number per pack. Namely, you will get 6 commons in a regular epic pack and 12 commons per legendary pack. So technically you have many more scenarios. The actual percentage breakdown will be finer, but many of those percentages, especially later percentages, like pulling 12 new cards from a pack, becomes essentially 0. And the chance is very similar. So to avoid way too complicated math, even for my taste, I decided to use just the battle pack percentage as the proxy for the percentage of the pools. And another issue that we'll run into is that the amount of missing cards we have and the probability of each of these are dynamic. Means as we go through our 11 epic packs, we'll be picking up new cards. And the decline of that probability is going to show once we pull our 9th, 10th, and 11th pack. So the value will be declining as we move forward. And right now we're pulling a very linear calculation and technically using sort of the derivative of the value at our current moment to dictate which pack I should buy next, essentially. Because I'm not comparing which pack should I buy in terms of 11 epic right now and 4 legendary. It's more or less designed to calculate if I have gems right now. Should I be buying an epic pack or a legendary pack? And after the result of that pack is known, then you need to redo your math to kind of calculate value again if you want a very min-max experience. But on paper, using this to calculate which pack is more worth for me at this moment, it's still correct. And using that logic, we can make our math for the epic card pool and the legendary card pool much simpler by only calculating them for the next card, because for epic pack, there is only one epic card, and for the legendary pack, there is only one legendary card. So for me, the math becomes super simple because now I know how many I'm missing, I know what the total amount is, so the chance of me pulling a new epic card comes out to about 56% exactly, and my expected value given the amount of the crafting material ratio being 1/4 turns out to be 67%. And using the same math for a legendary card, I have a 68.42% of pulling a new legendary card in every legendary pack, and my expected value of that legendary card within a legendary pack comes out to about 76.32%. And using these expected values, we can transpose them onto our 11 epic pack and 4 legendary pack by matching each of the expected value percentages with the number of common cards to calculate the new expected value that I will receive from each of these pack sets. So getting 11 epic packs using my very linear math, we mentioned how it's inaccurate as we open up more pack and get new cards, will be coming out to around 8,587.77. Think of this as the derivative value right now in this progressively declining function. And for the legendary cards, I'm expected to actually get 9,098.28 as we use the same derivative of the current point of my collection. And it turns out, despite the fact that epic packs tend to have higher maximum value as well as higher salvage value, legendary pack actually comes out ahead for me, simply because I'm missing a large number of legendary cards. And if you take a look at the differences between the number of cards you get and the value of each category, you can pretty much summarize that if you buy the same gem cost of epic versus legendary, you come out ahead in raw crafting material by 800. You come out ahead by 18 common cards, which will translate to 900 crafting material. And you come out ahead by 12 rare cards, which will come out to be 1,440 crafting material. And you come out ahead by 3 epic cards, which is roughly 1,200 crafting material. But legendary wins with 4 legendary cards, which will roughly translate to 4,000 crafting material. And each of those raw value will be multiplied by your expected value, and you get this 4 variable linear function that you can use to predict exactly which expected value will come out ahead. Now, well, the math here does show that for me right now, if my next gem purchase can be chosen between an epic pack and a legendary pack, the legendary pack will win out simply because I'm missing much more legendary card. If I happen to craft a few more of those, then epic pack will make a lot more sense for me, because in essence, most of my common and rare cards will become crafting materials, and since you get much more value out of the epic pack in those areas, I'm actually going to end up with more value out of the epic packs. And using that higher value, I can craft the legendary cards that I need. So in summary, for those of you who have skipped the math portion entirely, and for those of you who stayed with us, if you are a new player to the game, and you start picking up gems through achievements, through leveling up, the first thing you should buy when you have almost no cards in your collection are epic packs, because you'll be getting more raw value out of them, because your expected value becomes essentially what you will actually get because all the cards are missing. Thus, as you open a few epic pack and gain some more common and rare and epic cards, as well as plenty of crafting materials, I actually recommend you to use those crafting materials to only craft more epic or legendary card. And only at that point, when your common collection and rare collection are near full, then you should consider using your later purchases on legendary packs. Now, of course, an argument could be made that you should probably just go for the raw value of epic packs at all times, because the legendary that you will pull from any given legendary pack might not be the one you want. And if you happen to get a legendary card that you don't need or want, and there are a lot of legendary cards that are very memey cards where it doesn't actually contribute much to the strength of your deck, you'll be essentially getting a card that has no value, while most of the epic cards in the game tend to be more gameplay focused. So in essence, perhaps the best approach is to consistently purchase epic packs. This way you can get a ton of crafting materials that you can use to handcraft the legendaries that you want for the decks that you want to be building, as well as getting more common, rare, and epic cards to help support those few legendary cards you'll be adding to your deck. So that kind of wraps up our Theorycraft Thursday for this week. Next week we'll be talking about board clears, which is another great topic recently because of the introduction of structure decks, and hopefully you will come back and join us for that. And see you guys next time. Bye!